Hi, this is Bob Papa, voice of the New York Football Giants, and this is the Big Blue UK and Ireland podcast.
Welcome back, Giants fans, to this new series, and please welcome my guest for this episode, professional footballer, Rochdale's youngest ever player and current Bolton Wanderers player. It is Luke Matheson. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And no, thank you for coming on. Obviously, we've spoken a few times via DM, and obviously you've followed us for a while now.
Yeah.
There aren't many Giants fans that we know yet in the English footballing pyramid, so it's always nice to get you on. Before we kind of get into the Giant stuff, we'll just kind of touch on your career so far. So obviously you started at 15, I think it was, for Rochdale, and then obviously you moved about a couple of times. How has everything been sort of over the last few years since you kind of, as I guess as Mika Richard would say, exploded onto the scene against Man United in that cup game?
Yeah, so obviously, like you mentioned, I came onto the scene. I was a kid. I'm still only 21, but I've been in this industry for like nearly 8 years now, 7, 8 years. So I'm quite experienced. Like you mentioned, I've had quite a few clubs. I've been 3 different countries I've played in now through various loan moves and stuff. But yeah, Rochdale was where I broke onto the scene. Then I got my move to Wolves, and kind of like injuries, kind of like hindered that sort of process. I had a really bad hamstring injury, and I tore my LCL in my knee. So that was two of my 3 seasons at Wolves were played with injuries. Then obviously had the loans and stuff, and then signed for Bolton after the hammy injury, which is where I'm currently at now. But yeah, loving it. The second best football, shall we say?
And last year you were at Bohemians in
Yeah, yeah.
Ireland. That's right. So, how did you find that? Because that's a strange league. Obviously, it's a very different time zone. They start start earlier, sorry, and end earlier, don't they?
Yeah, it doesn't get enough credit as it deserves, I'd say. Back home over here, like it's a league that it doesn't surprise you with the standard, but how the league is, the fan, like that's the first thing I said when I got over there was the fan base. Is like it was crazy. Like Bohemians, we sold out every single week, sold out the stadium every single week, and there's like a 3,000-4,000 people like season ticket waiting list. So that's the first thing that took me by surprise, was that kind of like football's like, it doesn't get coverage over here like the Premier League would, like the opposite way round, but it's massive. It is a lot bigger than it gets credit for over there.
Cool. So let's speak Giants. Obviously, that's kind of why you follow us and how we got talking. So, like you said, you're still relatively young, and we don't see a lot of sort of maybe younger Giants fans outside of people who have kind of followed because their dad follows. So, how long have you followed the Giants, and when and sort of why did you start?
So I don't have like a euphoria moment where I was like, that's my moment. I can tell you that's where it all started. But my best friend, so I had a best friend from when I was about, like 6 months old. Both our parents, would go to the park, and we'd kind of like, became friends that way. He had like the same first name, same middle name as me. Like, it was really weird. So his dad did university over in the States, so he was a massive Steelers fan. So he
Mm,
bought, like my dad would buy me FIFA, etc. His dad would buy him Madden. So me and
mm,
him would start, like every once in a while, we'd, get bored of FIFA, and then we'd, find this Madden disc and put it into his PlayStation, like PlayStation 2 or whatever it was at the time. So we'd start playing on that. And then I kind of like enjoyed that, and you know thrived off, like I would go round and then be like, can we play Madden rather than can we play FIFA? That kind of transition
mm,
kind of happened because I didn't have Madden, he had Madden, so that's how it
mm,
worked. And then when I became a Giants fan, because I didn't have a team at the time, like my dad has no links to it other than through me now. It was when it was when Vine was a big thing, and Odell, everyone knows the catch against the Cowboys. So I think that was 2014, I think it was.
Yeah.
So that was viral on Vine. I was watching Vines at the time. I was like, oh, who the hell is this guy, and how the hell's he done this three-fingered catch? So it was kind of like that slow. It wasn't then I was like, I'm going to be a Giants fan. So it was kind of like that slow. Started watching more of the Giants. 2015 was here and there. Then it was kind of like 2016 was when I was like, I'm a Giants fan kind of thing.
And obviously you've got the legacy jersey on there.
Have
You got a
yes,
name on the back?
Kayvon.
Oh, he's got Cave on. He's got. I mean, it had to be Cave on, really.
I've
Last
got who else I've got? I've got a DJ jersey. I've got unfortunately a Saquon jersey, and my missus now is a Giants fan, so she is a massive Dexter Lawrence fan. So she's got a Dexter Lawrence jersey.
Maybe we should get her on to chat Giants.
Definitely, she's a bigger fan than me these days.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I became a fan just probably the year before that, and Dan, who's the host of the show, is the reason I became a Giants fan, and we've known each other since we were 8. So,
Really,
kind of similar kind of story, but obviously you went away from Steelers. Is your mate still a Steelers fan?
I don't know if he ever picked it up truly. Like, I don't think he ever
Oh,
picked up. Because we went to different schools and everything. We kind of like when we were like 11, 12, we went to different high schools, so we kind of like went different paths, kind of thing.
hmm.
So I don't know if I've not spoken to him in a while, so I don't know if he ever fully, made the jump into the deep end kind of thing. But I couldn't tell you.
Have you been lucky enough to see them yet, the Giants?
I have twice. So I went to was it 2022? They came over against the Packers in London. I went
Yep.
to that one. Was lucky enough. Me and my dad went to that one,
Hmm.
and I went to between loans, like because obviously our season completely overlaps
Yeah.
the NFL season. Like there's no two ways about it. Our season ends after theirs and starts back up before it. So the chance of me being able to go over to the States and actually watch a game is like really really slim. Other than when I
Mm,
hopefully it's a long way away retire.
mm,
But when I was at Wolves, I got recalled. I was on loan up in Scotland, and I got recalled from that loan just before Christmas.
mm.
Um, and the plan was to send me back out in the January window. So that's when I went on loan to Scunthorpe. So between them loans, they gave me 10 days off. So I was like, I'm never gonna get this chance for the next, touch wood, 15 years. I'm never gonna get this chance again. Let's just go. So me, my mum, my dad, and my sister, we all went. We flew out to Miami for 5 days, and we saw Giants versus the Dolphins at Hard Rock, and we didn't score a touchdown. So it was worth every penny, though.
You can't make it up, can you? You really can't. Like the only chance you're gonna get, and
That's
nothing.
why we love him, though. That's why we love him.
Yeah, exactly. So no, that's awesome. And you mentioned your dad a couple of times. Have you converted him as well then?
I have, yeah. He is an avid red zone watcher every Sunday now. So he knows the drill. My mum and dad know the drill. So I call my mum pretty much every day, apart from a Sunday, unless she wants to get in there before 6 o'clock. She knows the drill now.
Oh, awesome. I mean, to be fair, who doesn't love Scott Hanson? You've got to
Best
watch it.
guy on TV. Best guy on TV.
Right. So let's kind of talk the last few seasons and let's talk about last season. How do you sum up a season like last year?
Yeah, it was almost over from the get go, wasn't it? And that field goal against the Cowboys when AT tore his hamstring trying to chase down the runner. But no, it's one of them things where being an athlete as well, you kind of it's hard to because I know somewhat what the players are feeling. Like fans and stuff you see online. Oh, we need to lose out this year, so it's over already. 3 weeks in, we need that top 5 draft pick or whatever. But like the players, they're never gonna ever accept that. So like from a fan's point of view, I'm like, does this game really really mean anything? But then I can see it from the players' perspective and stuff. But no, I just want to see, like it's a limited amount of time. It might only be the 17 games we get to watch the team. So I just want to watch every single game and watch my team play on a Sunday kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's a really, really good point you kind of bring up about the fact that you know from a sports person's mentality how much it hurts, but also I guess you kind of have a viewpoint as well on someone like Thomas, who then went back out there despite being hurt.
Mhm.
Is that something you've ever done? Is that like just a mentality of the fact that you know that there could be somebody else waiting to take your position?
Oh, 100%. It's like you'll never tell. Like you see lots of fans say, like, "Oh, why would he? Why would he? He's our superstar left tackle. Why on earth would he chase down a meaningless field goal? You know, I don't even know, like
Mm,
5 minutes into the first quarter of game one. Like, but
mm,
to Andrew Thomas, that's not a meaningless chase down in in the
mm.
first game of the season. That's who these people are. They are fighters. They are warriors. Like I couldn't imagine, standing at a line of scrimmage every single week and just you know going through what they go through. Like you see on like Hard Knocks, etc. Some of the injuries these players are playing through week in, week out. Like I've played, like I tore my hammy and I played 30 minutes without a hamstring, and I know how horrible that was. So I can't imagine like, playing with a broken rib or broken finger, broken, God knows what these guys go through, but they're athletes. That's just how they're trained.
It's a mentality thing, isn't it?
100%.
You touched on Hard Knocks. You were able to watch Hard Knocks,
Yeah.
despite it being difficult
Yeah.
to get hold of.
Yeah.
Um, what were your major takeaways from it?
I thought it was amazing, seeing that off season side kind of thing, because we've not really had that from any team really. We've not had that behind the scenes we had like the Giants live stuff on YouTube that the team puts out, the
Mm.
small stuff, but we've never had like a full deep dive kind of thing. So I thought it was super super interesting just to see the process that these guys and the team go through, because I didn't think it had that much like I knew obviously it has a major process behind it, but I didn't think like the amount of depth these guys go into, over like that. Every single draft pick is you know massive. Like you don't even the seventh rounders are massive if they work out kind of thing.
Was there anything that you kind of saw as a similarity between kind of what goes on behind the scenes at a football club and what goes on behind the scenes there? I mean, we did see limited stuff. It was more sort of high
Mm.
level, more than I guess contract negotiations and things like that. But was there anything that you kind of thought, oh, that's interesting? It's very similar in that regard.
I think the main takeaway would be like just the process of building a team, because I'm actually doing a degree on the side through the PFA on becoming a sporting director. So kind of seeing that aspect of how because we long story short, we've basically studied Palace. So seeing how Palace's sporting directors work, and then seeing how Joe Shane and Dave's work is kind of like, it's very very similar how they see players and see how they all fit into a model kind of thing.
Yes, that's really interesting. Really,
Yeah.
really interesting. I'm sure we could go on for hours on
Oh,
just stuff like
yeah.
that. um, There were some funny moments, obviously. We had Dave's lighting up a cigar in his swimming pool and other bits. What was your kind of favourite moment from the entire series?
uh, I think my favorite moments probably. I don't think I have a specific like, wow, that's
Hmm,
a wow moment kind of thing. I think that my favorite part was, when the as a whole was, when the camera was in the corner of Joe's office, and you could
hmm.
kind of just see him, when he put his like feet up on the desk and just have a phone call with his agent. I thought that was super interesting, that dynamic of things. That's probably my favorite.
Right, let's have a chat about this season coming up. Don't give a prediction because the prediction will come at the end.
Okay.
What are your expectations and hopes for the Giants this season?
Hopefully better than last season. I think for me, I just want to see, touch wood, their game compared to ours is riddled with even more injuries. So I just want to see, I just want to see a full Giants team for once, because it feels like it's been years since we've seen what this team can actually be capable of. We had the Saquon injury, then we had the DJ injury, we have had
Hmm.
Andrew Thomas out for how long? If it's not the quarterback, it's the receiver. If it's not the receiver, it's the linebacker. Well, it just goes on and on. I just want to see a full team for a whole year. But no, I just want to see like the team do well and just fulfill. I want to see the year 2 players, like Jalen Hyatts and etc. just come on that extra step, because it feels like we've not had a player who's developed the way they're supposed to be developing in a while, especially at day 2-3 picks. But no, I just want to see the team fulfill their potential, hopefully.
That's a big bugbear of ours on the podcast, is day 2 and 3 picks just not hitting, and we haven't hit for a very, very long time, probably since Coughlin was still head coach. So definitely a massive frustration of ours, and something we want to see going. So draft, free agency, you've obviously both come and gone. We're getting towards the sort of mid part of the preseason, even hitting towards the tail end, I guess, and we're going to see some real football soon. But looking at the draft and the free agency, who do you think will make the biggest impact for the Giants this season? And is it going to be as obvious as everybody else's answer?
Ooh, I I I think I'm gonna name two. I'm gonna name a player and a coach. I'm gonna go for obviously Brian Burns on the defensive side. I think he is gonna be a game changer who just, not even just him. I think he's gonna let other guys loose as well. Like then Dexter's not gonna get double teamed every single play. Kayvon can be, you're not relying on him on the edge every single snap of every single drive. It's going to have that 1, 2, 3 kind of punch, and then you've got Aziz. Hopefully, he can stay healthy and do something. And then I'm going to go the new O-line coach in Carmen, and hopefully he can get that unit fixed once and for all, because they are, yeah. I think every Giants fan will just understand what I mean by that. So we don't need to go into too much.
No, it's weird. We've kind of had a little bit of a teaser with that first preseason game, and they looked
They look
pretty good. Like,
because the twos as well.
yeah, exactly. And there were these things that I haven't seen for years called running lanes that were kind of opened,
Oh,
and it was just
what
nice
day?
to see it.
You're gonna have to tell me about them. I've not heard of them before.
So yeah, no, that's a massive thing. I really do think Carmen, and obviously we've made a lot of changes on there personnel wise. We've kind of scrapped our let's build youth through the draft, and actually let's just get some experienced guys in here just to get us a couple of years of solid play.
Yeah, yeah. No, the team's really good, and then obviously you've actually got a weapon now as well. So hopefully,
Mhm.
you've got a true number one receiver if all the reports stay true for the season with neighbors. So hopefully that means that DJ can be DJ, because I am a massive Daniel Jones fan as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a massive point of contention, really, isn't it? I'm sure you've seen X or Twitter and what it's like with Daniel Jones, and it's about as polarizing as it
Oh,
comes from one extreme to the other.
yeah, it's crazy.
Um, you've got. I do feel for him. I do think that he's been almost set up to fail over
Yeah.
the last sort of few years that he's been in here. So it'd be very interesting how he goes this year, because I think he's under a lot of pressure. But by all intentions, it doesn't look like it's getting to him too much.
No, I know. Like he's like Eli, and he's just trained for that New York media, and it doesn't affect him at all. I think having no social media helps as well, or just his PR stuff, what have you. So I don't think he actually reads it. But no, it is the make or break year for him. I think this is the best team around him we've had. So hopefully he can flourish.
Yeah, yeah. So let's end this out with a few quick fire ones then. We do a thing called most valuable giant, which is obviously who's going to be the most important person on the team. So first of all, is most valuable giant on offense,
Andrew Thomas, I
just
think.
because he anchors that line.
He is that. I think you can just see how the line changes without him. Like he is your, no one's getting past me. I'm your blind spots. I've got your blind spot. You don't need to worry about me. I'm doing my job. And you can just see like how the QBs, whether it's DeVito or DJ, they just know that they're okay over there, kind of thing. And
Mm.
when all these parts are moving, etc., etc., I think he is the anchor that just lets everything else work, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then I guess this might go to somebody you've already mentioned, but we'll see. Most valuable giant on defense.
I think Dexter Lawrence, because he is an animal. He is a beast. And if I didn't say him, my missus would be hating on me when this comes out. So
I mean, you're not wrong. The NFL released their sort of like video of him because I think he was, I mean, way too far down at number 23. I think it was on the top 100. But that video is incredible because it's him mic'd up against the Jets, and he must be one of the funniest people on the
hilarious.
field.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Just laughing in people's faces. Me and my missus quote him all the time. Them mic'd up videos. Yeah, we love him. Well, I love him anyway, but I've been even more forced to love him. So because she's obsessed.
So, who do you think might be the surprise package of the season from a player perspective?
I think I really think Hyatt's going to take that year two jump. I really do. I think with the reports coming out of camp that he's not just this outside X speed guy who can run deep. He's now actually, his routes are looking crisper and etc. I think he can really be that guy. You don't win the Blickenoff award in college for no reason and beat some of the guys he beat. So I do really think he can be a superstar on the other side to Neighbours.
All important one now. Team record.
I'm gonna be positive and I'm gonna go 9-8 and we sneak in there with a wild card. Positive but realistic.
It's funny because I think 9-8 is almost like the average we've had so far. And it is that kind of record where you can just sneak in depending on how the rest of the division has gone and how the rest of the conference has gone. So, and as you well know, probably it's a different game when it comes to like knockout games as
Oh yeah.
opposed to like just a standard divisional game. Like it's a different atmosphere and a different animal.
Oh, 100%. I remember watching that Vikings game and like I don't think I've ever been as happy as I have in my life when we won that game. Like that tops a lot of football moments for me. So it just goes to show like how scarce they are as well. Like some fan bases, they go 30 years without seeing a win and stuff like that. So we're actually quite lucky, not in my lifetime, but as some older Giants fans are quite lucky with what they've had. But yeah, you just once you get in, anything can happen. But that's the beauty of it. It's just a different season starts all over again, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So that's it. All the questions done. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a great little conversation, and we'll definitely have to get you on again, hopefully later on in the season. And obviously reach out to the family members if they want to jump on. They're more than welcome as well.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. Obviously, we'll tag you in this video when it goes out on X. But if people do want to follow you and get your retweets of all the Giant stuff, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter. I'm more active on Twitter through Giant stuff. That I'm sure you guys will post my handle and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's Luke_Matheson 41. That's more Giant stuff, and then obviously you can find me on Instagram as well. That's just Luke_Matheson, but it's not as much Giants over there. It's more English football over there.
Well, all the best for the season, mate. I hope it goes well for both the Giants and for your own, obviously for your own season upcoming in football. And like I said, we'll get you back on at some point. For everybody else, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please do make sure that you like, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. Our social links will be in the description down below. But until next time, let's go Giants.